Honestly, if you want to know what your end goal should be or what your identity should look like at the end of you working towards a destination, I think it's really about learning who you are. And learning who you are for me is about learning who God is. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Homebody Chronicles. Um, it's late. This is probably the latest I've ever recorded. Um, but hopefully the background noise isn't too distracting, or hopefully I can figure out a way to minimize it. But today we're gonna be talking about what are we talking about today? Today we're gonna be talking about effective goal setting. Now, the reason why I picked that title is really just to make what I'm about to say a bit more digestible for the masses. But to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the word goal setting or not oh, let me reword that. I'm not a huge fan of the term goals. Just because I feel like for me personally, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but for me personally, I feel like a goal kind of puts it really far in the future. And for me, the way I think about goals or like things that I want to achieve, it's more so creating a sustainable roadmap to reach a destination. So I focus on the process and the steps to get to a certain point. Obviously, you need a destination. You can't just be driving full speed down a road without a destination. However, I think it's important to really hone in on your process and really hone in on the steps that you're taking to get to the destination. And I also think that it's important to pace yourself. So I feel like that's just a bit of a disclaimer. Not a disclaimer, but differentiation that I wanted to make. And also, this is not an episode telling you how to have goals or how to create them. I think that is a very intimate, multi-layered process that no one really can help you with. I think if you are struggling to know where you want to be and how you see yourself in the future or see the people around you and what you want your life to look like, again, that's not something that anyone really can help you with other than God. Me personally, I think that vision or that end goal or end destination is definitely something that was given to me by God, and it's something that is reachable through the talents that He's given me, or even the skills that He's given me, or things that He's allowed me or graced me to work on, things that He's allowed me or graced me to learn. So yeah, what I'm basically trying to say, it's very individual, it's very personal, it's very intimate, it's very sacred in my opinion. So honestly, if you want to know what your end goal should be or what your identity should look like at the end of you working towards a destination, I think it's really about learning who you are. And learning who you are for me is about learning who God is. We're bringing back the space facts. The first one that we're going to be talking about now that we're bringing them back is more of a think piece than it is a space fact. It's just something that I've heard about it for a while, but I've been kind of reading into it a little bit more, and I'm going to just share my thoughts and my opinions on it and my feelings on it. So we're going to be talking about asteroid mining. So asteroid mining is just like what it sounds like. It's the hypothetical extraction of minerals or materials, not necessarily just minerals, from asteroids and other minor planets, including near-Earth objects. So just like how we mine the Earth for resources and material, there's a theory. I guess it's a theory. I don't know. I know that theory is technically a scientific term, but hypothetically, scientists believe that we can do the same for bodies and planets and objects in space. So the thing about asteroid mining is that it's very expensive. Space excursions are expensive in general. However, with asteroid mining, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the hesitancy and the cons of it are just the fact that it's so expensive, and it's kind of like how much of a return on investment will you get. Um, and it's also quite exclusive. Chances of the average person being able to make money from asteroid mining is very slim. So the idea is that the people who will benefit from it are people or countries or organizations that already have like an exclusive access to space. Um, so that's one of the reasons why it's also kind of controversial, or that's one of the cons. For me, this can be, I don't know, maybe it's like a limiting mindset, but I feel like we're already mining the earth. We're already extracting the earth of all of its resources, and we barely know how to do that properly. Like, imagine we start extracting from space and we, you know, make money or find materials that are detrimental to the safety of planet Earth. Like, imagine we start extracting from a nearby asteroid and like it causes it to have like a shift in mass or something. I mean, that would probably take a really long time, but imagine, and like the thing comes back and hits us. Like, I don't know. That's just one of the things that I was thinking about. Also, one of the pros that I was thinking about is, imagine we start mining an asteroid somewhere and we discover like vibranium or like adamantium or something. That would be cool. I don't know what it would be cool for. I mean, obviously, like we can make like real life um, Avengers, I guess, but I don't know. There's a lot of opinions on this, because I think for a lot of people, the issue is not necessarily the possibility, but just the ramifications or the results of doing asteroid mining. But yeah, it's been something that people have been thinking about, and I think doing to an extent for a good bit. So I'm interested to see where this goes in the space world. It's a very common theme in like fiction, so it's interesting to see how that can become nonfiction if it does. Yeah. But yeah, let's get into today's topic. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about creating sustainable roadmaps to reach your destination. And by destination, I mean the vision for your life, a certain lifestyle, a certain thing. Yeah, just creating a sustainable roadmap to reach your destination. So I have three things that we're going to talk about today. The first thing will be found in Habakkuk 2, verse 2. So we're going to read it. Oh, everybody turn your Bibles to Habakkuk 2:2. Let's go to it here. Say amen when you found it. Amen. Okay. So in Habakkuk 2:2, as always, I'm reading from KJV. And it reads, "And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." So this is one of many instances where God has told, or themes where God has shown his people to write down the things that he would have them to do. Another more common example is the Ten Commandments. So God instructed Moses to, find a spot in the mountains and Mount Sinai, and God himself wrote the the Ten Commandments on the tablets of stone. Now, obviously, these are very literal, physical examples of writing it down or writing down what God would have you to do. But in reality, like the Bible literally says, like God will eventually write these on the tablets of your heart. So I think the importance for me about writing down anything really that you hope to achieve in the future, or requests that you have for God, is that the act of writing it down eventually what you've written down will eventually become a part of you. And I don't know, I'm not going to sit here and like go through a whole long explanation of the science or the psychology or the spirituality of doing that, but I know that it is effective. I've been journaling and writing down my goals and dreams and aspirations, or whatever you want to call them, since I was 7 years old. And have they all become a reality? No, because I mean, a 7-year-old isn't necessarily thinking in reality all the time, which is not a bad thing. But I do think that writing down what you want is important. And yeah, there's biblical themes and biblical stories where it shows how the act of writing it down kind of kickstarts that journey to get to where you need to be. Now, I think one thing to make very clear is I'm not saying you just write something down and put it under your bed, or write something down and do something weird like set it on fire, or anything that's, into the realms of witchcraft, essentially. But the for me, the act of writing it down is kind of like the start line. So writing it down just means, okay, this is what we're working towards. The real work is in the work. The real movement is in the work to get there. Oh, I just hit the mic. But yeah, I think writing it down is a good way to really materialize like the start line, and really materialize like this is where the journey starts, essentially. So maybe I'll do another episode or more, talk about that more, just because I feel like I don't want to spend too much time dwelling on that. The next thing is to find a goal setting system or method. So a lot of these you'll find are acronyms. So there's SMART goal setting, so SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based. So this is a method that I think is probably one of the most popular. I'm sure some of you have learned about this or practiced this in elementary school, high school, wherever. But it is a way to kind of really map out a specific goal that you have, and really map out the destination and map out the time you'll allot to reaching there. And it really helps you focus in and just kind of eliminate distraction and eliminate unnecessary things. Because I think sometimes, like, if you're just like, my goal is to run a half marathon, and it's like, okay, when are you going to run the half marathon? Are you going to train? How long will training take? It really puts your goals into like a step-by-step system, which I think is important because it helps you pace yourself. It helps you stay consistent. It helps you, again, eliminate distractions and unnecessary fluff. Another one that I've been seeing a bit more recently, and I feel like, so for me, I won't necessarily say that I align like specifically to a T to any like goal setting system. So SMART, like I wouldn't say so, but I do use them as kind of like a loose guideline or like mindset for when I think about something that I want to eventually reach. But another one that I found, and I think it's a bit more recent, is called the PACT system. So it's PACT, purposeful, actionable, continuous, and trackable. And this one, the difference between SMART goal setting and PACT goal setting is the fact that SMART goal setting focuses on the outcome, whereas PACT goal setting focuses on the output. So the reason why I say that I align better with Pact is just because I think, again, like I said, the journey and the method for how you get somewhere can be the determining factor for how and when you get there. And it also is a determining factor of how much you're just improving as a person along the way. So I'll give you an example to kind of illustrate the difference between SMART goal setting versus PACT goal setting, and you'll understand better what I'm trying to say. This is not my example. This is an example I found online. So I'll link the article below for you guys to check it out. So a SMART version of a goal would be getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in 30 weeks. So it's a very defined, very calculated and goal oriented sort of method. Whereas a PACT goal would be publish 3 blogs a week over the next 30 weeks. So I feel like with PACT, it's also a little bit more continuous. So PACT is, like I said, publish 3 blogs a week over the next 30 weeks. So then after the next 30 weeks, you'll use that momentum to continue and you can add on to it. And it's a bit more of a compounding system than SMART goal setting, in my opinion. I'm not saying it can't be, but I just feel like PACT just works better with me and my brain and what I'm already doing. Sorry guys, water break. I hope y'all are drinking your water. Please drink your water. And the last point I'll talk about is avoid getting stuck. So I feel like this almost sounds contradictory, but I think one of the things that causes people to lose momentum and lose, I guess, just consistency overall when it comes to achieving something or reaching their goals is they kind of get stuck in a loop and they don't know when to rest, and they lose the momentum of like getting a little bit better every day. So I think something important to know and to be aware of is when you are burnt out in, reaching your goals. I think like I always talk about, I do value hard work, and I do value personally for myself, like putting in the discipline to be where you need to be. And honestly, discipline is hard work. Like, it's hard work physically, it's hard work mentally. And sometimes if you are not pacing yourself, the desired outcome of discipline can almost be, what's the word? Like, okay, for example, like if you're really trying to reach something and your discipline isn't benefiting you, where it's not making you a better person, it's not benefiting your future, like you can get wow, what am I trying to say? Basically, I'm trying to say that you don't want to get stuck in the loop of just doing things for doing sake, And I think also on the spiritual side, I think that's why I said earlier, setting a goal or setting a vision, I think is very personal. It's very spiritual. It's very much a path to, or a conversation with God about what do you see in my future? And I think it's easy to set a goal and to work towards it, but it's like, is that work or is that goal really where you need to be? It's okay to have a goal that you've been working at and decide that that's no longer where you need to be, or that's no longer where God needs you to be. And I think it's important to recognize that point and hear from God and listen to him when he's like, yeah, that's not where we're doing anymore. That's not where we're going. This is not us anymore, or this is not me anymore. So I think the main point that I'm trying to make is don't get stuck. Stay in prayer. Learn from people, like understand where you may have gone wrong and understand that it's okay to pivot. At the end of the day, God is working all things out for your good, and the main goal is to please and glorify him. So if that is where you need to be, I think if you're sincere, he will point you in the right direction, and he will remind you when to chill out, when to pull back. So yeah, that's the 3 points that I wanted to bring up today. So now we're going to be talking about something that I'm not too fond of talking about, but I think I have to in light of my last point. So as you guys all know, we've been pushing out episodes every Monday. There's been a few, hiccups here and there, but I basically want to say that I'm going to be kind of revamping my posting schedule. And the main reason is my reason for posting this consistently is to favor and to pander to the algorithm. The way social media algorithms work, when they see consistency and when they see regular posting, it kind of pushes your content out farther to bigger audiences, which is great. And that's definitely what I want. And that's definitely what I'm working for. However, I do see this as a creative outlet. And if I'm being honest, it is a lot of work for me to put out episodes every week. It's one of the reasons why I haven't had a guest in a little bit, because I've kind of taken a step back and I'm trying to reassess how I want to schedule around recording, editing, and posting episodes. And also, this is kind of in preparation for when I have visuals out or video out. Because right now, if I'm being totally honest, I do not have space in my calendar to be recording video as at the same time as I'm recording audio, editing video at the same time that I'm recording audio. So essentially what I'm trying to say is I will be taking a bit of a step back. I'm not saying that I won't be posting weekly, but it might not be full long episodes. I'm not really sure what it's going to look like yet, but I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. A couple of the episodes that have gone out have been pre-recorded, and they were pre-recorded when I had downtime over the Christmas holiday. So that really helped out. So I think hopefully I'll have another bit of downtime to kind of really engross myself in the episode idea sort of world. But yeah, as a creative, it's really hard to just create on demand. And I think a lot of content I don't consider myself a content creator, but I can see how a lot of content creators can burn out really quickly, because it's you want to create things that are beautiful and that mean a lot to you, but it's time waits for no one. So it's not always about just putting something out for putting something out's sake. And I want to essentially stop that before it happens. So yeah, you might not be hearing from me every week, but when you do hear from me, it'll be meaningful and impactful. And honestly, that's all I want. So I don't know, maybe God will tell me to post one episode a month. I don't know. I don't really want to do that, but we'll see. We'll see where it takes us. But basically, I'm going to be taking a bit of a step back, kind of rethinking the schedule, rethinking the whole brand, rethinking how I'm going to improve, how I'm going to kind of add on to the whole podcast brand of the Homebody Chronicles. But yeah, I think so far we've been doing great. This is episode 11. I've posted fairly consistently since early December. Yeah, December 2nd was our first episode, and it'll be March next week. So I'm really proud of the progress, and I really do want to improve on it. So for me, that means taking a bit of a step back. But yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. I hope you guys will be here still. Not gonna lie, when I first thought about this, I was a little bit worried, because I was I'm slowly but surely building progress in terms of people and listeners and people who enjoy hearing from me every week. But at the same time, I know that this is something that God has placed on my heart, and as long as it impacts one person, I'm okay. And that one person can be me. And yeah, I just want to again pace myself, not get stuck, and just make sure that I'm aligned with whatever vision God has for this. So yeah. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Don't forget to rate if you're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, leave a comment on Spotify for me. And I'll see you next time for episode 12. Take care, guys. Bye.